Welcome back to 22 Savage TV. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe. I appreciate all your support. So this is going to be another Waiver Wednesday video. This is for week 7. Got another fire episode for y'all today. Again, smash the like button, man. We're really trying to grow the channel. So let's go ahead and get right into it. This is going to be guys I think you should target, for week 7 and beyond as well. I put together a little list and I'm going to go over it real quick. So obviously I'm going to go first to my watch list. The first guy I want to point out or highlight this week for Waiver Wednesday is going to be this guy right here, DAndre Johnson. Now, I tend to think that he's going to really have a big role here moving forward. Obviously, if you haven't been paying attention, the news is Kareem Hunt is probably going to be out a couple of weeks. I believe the timeline they gave was about 4 to 6 weeks. And I believe it's a calf or a lower leg injury. So, obviously, he's one of their top backs. Their actual top back, Nick Chubb, he's also dealing with an injury as well. And I believe he's going to be out for they actually play on Thursday for week 7. And so, I tend to think that DAndre Johnson basically on that Thursday game is going to get the majority of the work. Who knows what the results will be, but he's obviously going to get the opportunities. And so that alone will just boost his value. Like I said, the top 2 running backs are injured. That being the Cleveland Browns. And we obviously know the Cleveland Browns prefer to run the ball as opposed to throw it. They are one of the more prolific rushing teams, if that makes sense. Usually you say that and it's in a passing sense, a prolific passing attack. But Cleveland, they ground and pound. They believe in pounding the rock. And so, that, like I said, the opportunities are going to be there. And so I really think, this guy, DAndre Johnson, really stands to benefit. And like I said, Kareem Hunt's injury is a little bit more mid to long term. I think it said, 4 to 6 week timetable or time frame. So obviously, not only will DAndre Johnson be viable this week, but I think he'll have some viability moving forward into other weeks as well. So definitely want to add him. He obviously has the dreadlock powers activated, which is always a good thing. So DAndre Johnson, definitely want to pick him up. He is my top waiver wire pickup for Waiver Wednesday, week 7. So let's keep it rolling here. The next person I want to talk about, actually his teammate. It's going to be this guy right here, Donovan, the People's Champ Jones. I've been a fan of Peoples Jones, honestly, since he was at Michigan. I just saw all the talent. I thought he had all the tools, to really be a factor at the next level. And, his opportunities have been somewhat limited so far in his career, but the opportunities that he has had, I think he's pretty much impressed, a lot of people. And, I just think basically, like I just mentioned, the rushing attack for Cleveland has taken a hit. Perhaps we'll start to see their passing attack really take off. And Peoples Jones could be the leader of it. Quite honestly, he seems to have a rapport connection with Baker Mayfield. Something that obviously, Baker and Odell just don't seem to be able to quite get together or get on the same page. Peoples Jones, he's athletic. He can stretch the field. He can, he may even get a couple rushing attempts, a couple reverses and jet sweeps and things like that. He just has all the talent to be a factor. And so, like I said, the rushing attack for Cleveland is taking a hit. perhaps they start to lean on the passing attack. Jarvis Landry obviously still hasn't returned quite yet. And, this guy right here, man, I'm not saying, start him this week, obviously. But, because he did have a big week last week, and a lot of people might think, I'm going to just grab him and put him in my lineup. Or you might think, hey, that's a fluke. I'm not even going to pay attention to him. I'm somewhere like in the middle. I'm not saying put him in your lineup, but you definitely may want to consider adding him to your roster if you have the space. He could be a factor, like I said, later on during the season. You'll be thanking the Savage, trust me. So, anyway, let's keep it rolling here. Another guy I want to talk about. It's going to be this guy right here, Mo Alley Cox. Basically, I like him because he seems to have, a pretty good stranglehold on the tight end role in Indianapolis. Problem is, I don't really trust Indianapolis, their quarterback, their passing attack in general. I'm just not a believer in Carson Wentz. It is what it is. So, but Mo Alley Cox, and then he's been a lot, like basically really touchdown dependent, and he's just really not a part of their game plan week to week. Like, who really knows what the Colts game plan is, to be quite honest with y'all. Because they'll run Jonathan Taylor, but then he only get like 14 carries, like what he got. But anyway, that's not the here nor there. Mo Alley Cox, I want to mention because the talent is obviously there. Like, if you isolate it, just the talent, his individual talent is there. He has all the tools, and so that's why, it's more of a speculative thing, just something to kind of put on your brain. If your tight ends are, a problem area on your roster, I know the pickings are getting kind of slim. There's been a lot of tight end injuries so far. So I just wanted to kind of, throw something else out there at you guys. So anyway, and yeah, dreadlocks, by the way. So anyway, let's keep it rolling, man. Another guy I wanted to mention, actually, this is going to be like a hidden gem, and I'm going to tell you why, because he actually was, his team is on a bye week this week, and so what's going to happen is his projected points are not going to show up, in your waiver pool. KJ Osborne, a receiver from the Minnesota Vikings. You guys remember the guy who, caught the touchdown, the game winner in overtime, and, took his helmet off, and he did all that, man, and got the camera, and all of that, man. Shout out to that brother, man. He really turned the buck. He really, his dreadlock powers was fully activated. You feel me? Like, I think, his role as the number 3 in Minnesota's offense is pretty much solidified. Number 3 wide receiver, behind Thielen, obviously, and Justin Jefferson. But should either one of them get hurt, then obviously he'll take a big bump up. And I think that it'll be well worth it. I mean, the guy obviously is very talented. I've liked what I've seen from the Minnesota passing attack so far. I mean, Kirk Cousins hasn't turned it over and just screwed it up, totally. So, if he can keep that up, like I said, should something happen to Thielen or Justin Jefferson, I mean, this guy's, you could instantly put him in your lineup and start him with confidence. I really feel that way. KJ Osborne, I definitely would recommend adding him, like I said, not only for now, all of these guys, not only for now, but obviously moving forward into the future. So, last guy I wanted to bring up is a guy, obviously, he caught my eye because they played against my boys on Sunday. Kendrick Bourne. He caught my eye obviously because he had the long touchdown pass against Trayvon Diggs. Like immediately after Diggs caught the pick six on him, and so that was a long touchdown pass. It was, I know from a fantasy perspective, it probably, if you had him in, I wouldn't imagine a lot of people had him in. He's only rostered in looks like 3.8% of these. I think it's either ESPN leagues or all leagues. But he basically, here's my theory. I don't expect the New England Patriots passing attack to be so mediocre for the rest of the season. Like at some point, they're gonna start having some prolific passing games. Some of these receivers are gonna start hitting 100 yards. Eventually, I think that Mac Jones just has that kind of talent. He could throw for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns weekly, I feel like. Because they have the receivers on the outside, because they have some really good running backs, because they have, some really good tight ends. Like, there's no reason why they can't be a more prolific passing attack. And here's the thing, I actually have Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne's teammate, the wide receiver on the Patriots, and he started off good. First game, he was really good, and but he's fallen off tremendously, and I think he's just he may have hit rock bottom. The Rock says he may have hit rock bottom. In this last game, he only had 1 catch and he had a big drop. Nelson Aguilar, I mean. And so I think that's going to leave an opportunity for Kendrick Bourne here to really, seize upon a role, there. Like I said, I don't expect their passing attack to look so mediocre. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe they're just mediocre. Maybe Mac Jones is an MWD. But I just, I think they'll get it together. So, I think Kendrick Bourne, he really would be a guy with stash. I'm not saying start him right away. I would probably stash him and just see him. The man got a neck tattoo, so he's probably a savage, which is what you want, obviously. So. Anyway, that's going to be it for this week's video. Smash the like button, hit the subscribe. If you want to donate to the channel, hit the links. I appreciate all the support. Catch y'all on the next one.